Hey, mine fans. Today, I've got Pat coming out and special guest Cam, and we're going to go into War Eagle and climb up to the 500 level, and we're going to look for passage through to another section of the mine. I've got a theory about it. Now we're going to see if we can make it a reality. So come on along and let's see if we can make this happen, shall we? Come on up. Come on, Pat. Let's do this.
More the merrier, Pat.
Yeah.
We're wasting daylight,
Oh, hey.
as if we could tell. Here we go, folks, on our way up into a seldom visited part of the mine because we have, a mission. Working our way up to the 535. That's some of the old piping. And such a fun area. This area was very heavily gouged out with slushers. And we've got a whole level up there that probably sees my attention a couple times a year. And we're going to go up there and do some surveying today and see if we can find what I think is up there. Ideally, another route and deeper into the mine above. Now we got to climb this wonderful rope. Joy, fucking joy. Na 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 Batman. Around.
Made it.
You did.
That was fun.
Yeah, tons of fun. And I'm glad it was fun because we got a lot more to go. Old air pipe and water pipe there from the old days. There's Pat. You can do it.
I know I can do it. Oop.
It's that last little bit.
There's a lot more to go. All right, I'm up on the level now. 535. Don't get old, kids. It's a beautiful level. I love it up here. Oh yeah. You can see that we've still got track and pipes and tools and old dynamite paper.
Alright, you're good,
Things-
Pat.
Things none of the scrappers got because they're too lazy to come up here. I love this section. This is one of the more untouched sections of the mine from the Anaconda days. Watch Pat way down here. So we've climbed about 150 feet on that rope. I love this section. A lot of mine above us and to the sides. So here's a nice little historic blast from the past. We've got this old miner's glove left behind by probably one of the Anaconda workmen back in the 50s. The Whiz Bang Glove Company. Look at that, Whiz Bang. If that's not a 50s name, I don't know what is. Nice old work glove, all dried out. It's been in here for a long, long time. Unfortunately, we've only got the one. But whoever left it here, 70 years ago, is probably deceased right now, as almost every miner who's ever worked here, as far as I can tell, is gone. So one of them left this glove behind, and it's part of the story. Back when men were men and wore gloves and did work. Little things like that. They're historical vignettes. Each and every one of these things means something. Left here by somebody. The stories this mine could tell. so I never tire this place. Here's a nice collection of drill bits on this old, slusher base that we found back in here a year or so ago in another section and kind of put them here. You see some of them brand new, unused, still have the paint on them. Others have got some wear to them, but these are the tools used to break the rock, to set the charges, and blow this place apart. Open this place up for ore extraction. Those beautiful timbers up there, and a little rock down, but for the most part, still standing, still solid. So here we are now. We're up in one of the stopes, trying to find our way above this section, and you can see some of these timbers have got drag marks from the old slusher cables. And Pat and Cam are up there ahead of me right now. Beautiful timber sets. So they took a lot out. That's obviously not the most stable section up there. But unfortunately, there's no airflow at all up here, and the section we're going into has airflow. So we're in the wrong area, at least for over here. So we're going to head back down and try another one. But you can still see cable ends like that and eye bolts like that one up there. That's where the slusher cables would have hooked on for the drag line to haul all this stuff out when they blasted. So that's the Anaconda company in action. This was Anaconda work, not TCM. There's Pat coming way down over there, like the nimble sprite that she is. What'd you say?
Nothing. I said nothing.
Okay, so here's a little piece of ladder we found here that Pat used to climb to go up there. And while she's coming down, we'll talk about this little piece of ladder. Make some more light on it, or less light. So most of these steps are that that's got the 3 nails and the 3 smaller nails. And I'm used to seeing that in the old Tecopa consolidated, work. So this is probably an old TCM ladder. But then we got where there was a step broken off and a 2x4 was thrown in there, which is what I do these days. But we've got the bigger nails here. And I'm used to seeing that in some of the Anaconda work where they use the slightly bigger nails, just like we see up here in this piece of structure here. Same nail sizes as we see down here, and just 2 as opposed to 3. So I'm thinking what we got here is an old TCM ladder that would have been made back around the turn of the century and used by the TCM guys. And when they left it here, the Anaconda people came by and repurposed it and threw a 2x4 in there to replace a broken step. And this ladder's seen quite a bit of service. And again, most of that is just kind of theoretical and forensic detective work, but it's kind of how we navigate around here and figure out what happened, when and who did what. How you doing, Pat?
I'm doing fine.
Mm-hmm.
Sweating.
Don't laugh at Pat.
Hot up there.
Okay.
Gotta laugh off the challenges.
Yeah. If you ain't laughing, you ain't suffering. And here on the ground here, we found just off the track on one of these stopes. It's an 8-foot section of rail here. If it was 12-pound rail, I'd have hauled it down because I can use 12-pound rail for some of the old stuff. This is probably 24 pounds. It's definitely thicker and heavier. It's pretty badly rusted because we've got some humidity up in this area. But an 8-foot straight section is nothing to be sneezed at. So I think one of these days we'll come up, we'll do a little salvage. We'll take this down and use it for some of the museum display in another section of the mine or back outside. In fact, actually, I know exactly where that needs to get used. So sooner rather than later, this section's coming down. Maybe today. Pat noticed this survey tag up here in the back. 591, which is the corresponding mark on a map. Whoever put this up here back in the day. And ACM Co., Anaconda Copper Mining Company. They're the ones that put that up there. Once upon a time, there would have been a plumb bob hanging off that little hook that it's on. And they would have used that for surveying and tracking, the direction of the workings up here. So still kind of rare to find in here these days. Most of the mine, the looters and scrappers and explorers have stolen them. So you get into a section like this, something that's that easy to take and it's still there, it tells you a lot of people have been up here. Love it. And another stack of vintage amidine, 40% dynamite. Oh yeah, thank you Anaconda Company for leaving that behind. Probably not too dangerous these days, but we're gonna take it at its word and leave it where it's at. You know, no sense poking the bear. We just treat dynamite like that as like a rattlesnake. Admire it from a distance, leave it alone, potentially dangerous, but not if you don't screw with it. So. There's other caches like that back in the mine here, but they're all off the tour routes and most people aren't ever going to see them. Unless you want to book an adventure tour, then it's possible. Okay, so we dragged that one piece of rail back here to the chute we came up. It's a nice 8-foot piece, a little rusty, but it's got the mounting holes on both sides, so it's a complete 8-foot section. And I need it down in the museum for future display stuff, because the only other comparable rail is 200 feet below the museum, down on the 990 level, and 890 level. I don't feel like going down and screwing with that, so this one is going to be on its way down. If y'all want to grab an end of that, and this is the fun part. We don't do this very often in the mine. Just chunk your end down there, please. Okay, meant to do that. Live TV, folks, live TV. Yeah. Yay. Probably made it about halfway, but that's space. We don't have to move it next time, so we'll be back up on a future expedition to recover that and bring it down to the museum and put it in place where some of the rail down there has been stolen, where I'm going to need it for an artifact to come. Stay tuned for that. Okay, we're going to come up another stope here. I'm going to check it out first. This one has some promise because we have a vent pipe coming up. And you're not going to run vent pipe up a dead-end stope usually. So my suspicion is this one goes somewhere. And the floor up here, it's got some smooth spots. Looks like somebody's been sliding down here. So I'm thinking this is what we came to find. All right, well, all good things come to an end, and this trail's one of them. I came up probably 40, 50 feet and over a big pile of collapse down rock, and I'm in a fairly comprehensive timbered stope back here. A lot of stalls, no way out back there, no ventilation. It's humid back in here. A lot of the timbers are showing some rot from the humidity. And yeah, this is, I thought I was here for a minute. This ain't it. So I back over that stuff and back down the other side. And if I don't get flattened out, at least it was kind of neat seeing us back here. Don't think I'll be back up in this section anytime soon. But like Thomas Edison would say, it wasn't a waste of time. I learned something else that didn't work. The adventure continues. On the way down and out, you can look up here and see where a slusher cable ran across this. A little bit down there too. All of that wood grooved by a slusher cable. And at one point, it was wearing into this one so bad, they took an old piece of drill steel and used it to reinforce the side of the cut. Look at that. And it's even got its own little cut in it. That's kind of neat. They just kind of pounded it with nails and bent it in place. And that was your Anaconda ingenuity, or field engineering, we'd call that, I guess. And that's the kind of history, I love to see in here, because that's not something taught in an engineering class, but people who worked in here for a living knew that it was either that or replace this timber to get around that big cut there. So at one time, there was a slusher working up here, and we got rocks like, well, that one there. and another one I just tossed down the bin that have a lot of weight to them. So there was some pretty good grade up in this area. Yeah. A lot of these rocks, if you pick them up and heft them, ooh, like this one here, yeah. Doesn't really, there's a bit, it's dusty, but it's definitely got some weight to it. So, yeah, that one is. Yeah, there's a good galena seam here, so. But according to the records I've seen, Anaconda left behind a section that still had estimated 50,000 tons recoverable just in the one area, and they never even touched that block. So if it's mine, and I'm sitting on a fortune if I could ever mine it out of here, but it'll do where it'll stay where it's at for now. Who knows, maybe lead and silver will rise enough, it'll make it worth it. But as far as I'm concerned, these mines have done their work in the day, and they deserve to be preserved as they are. I'm gonna get out of here. And here we go. The stuff that dreams are made of right here. This is an unassuming rock about the size of my hand here. It's so heavy I can hardly lift it. Oh, this sucker is pretty heavy. You know, lead and silver in it too. It's our galena compound, so you don't see it all on the surface, but that's one heavy rock. That's what they were working in here. This would have fallen. This one's got some weight to it too. You can see those speckles. So this is the good stuff they were hauling out of here back in the day. That's how you can tell what you got. It's by the weight. And some of these rocks got a lot of weight to them. Yeah, not the best, but still heavier than a rock this size should weigh. So taken out by the truckload, yeah. That was the paychecks that supported a lot of the folks in the area and the American war effort and all the other good stuff. History right there. Well, we're back up at another stope up here. I've never been up in this one before. Look at that, would you? Oh, she's beautiful. And the air is actually pretty good up here, so we got some ventilation happening here. Yeah. I don't know where the air exchange is coming in from. I've got a couple of theories on that, and we're going to see if we can mythbuster those out in the next few minutes or so, because we've only got about 30 minutes on the Explorer before we got to head down, but man, this is nice. Come on up here. I'm up here. So, going kind of back down the way we came in a different direction, we've got a drift up ahead of us. I still see some air and water pipe hanging. I've got some fall, but not too much. We've got a couple eye bolts up here for a slusher, so there's a slusher station down there. I'm going to check that out. And Pat's going up to the back behind us. Cam's kind of holding down the fort as our safety person, and I'm going to go check this out real quick. Be back soon. You can go, but be back soon. You can go, but while you're working, don't fall and bust your ass. And what rhymes with ass? Grass, lass, harass. I go. And suddenly, I know what's in that section of drift down there. I know where we are. We've done it. We've bypassed the collapse, and we're now in the other half of the 500 level. Whew, I always thought this existed. It was always theoretical until now, but I had to get the right, company to come up here, as I'm trying to hold my camera not to fall down. Oh, yeah. There's Cameron and Pat behind, and yeah, we're back on the 500 level on the other side near the square sets.
Right.
America, yeah. You didn't even know where we were going. But yeah, made it happen. So now we've got a new connection between the two separate 500 levels. And now, yeah, look at that. And we've actually got some old handwriting in the dust on this vent pipe from people I know. We'll look at that in a minute. But yep, we are now past the collapse on the other side. Frickin' awesome. This makes me very happy. Of course, now we got to come in here and clear this out. I need a blaster and some muckers. Yeah. Oh. It's not as bad as I thought. Come down here. Now we've got this old carbide barrel here that some people have wrote on the dust in here. Yeah, let's see who we got here. David Angel, Brian Weed, 2017. SoCal Grotto. Yeah, all right. Y'all said we didn't make no marks in here. Y'all made some marks in here, but it's all right. Y'all's friends of mine. Made this back before I knew him, but this is the kind of graffiti I can put up with because it's just done in the dust. But and again, David Angel and Brian Weed are some fantastic people. And there's the collapse in the pipes. That's where it came through. And it's actually not terribly far, so I'm going to have to get Robin and Larry Dimmick up here, and I'll bet you between the two of them they could have that crap open in about half an hour. Don't tell them I said that. Man, that's nice. 3 years in here and still finding new stuff and loving every minute of it. I always thought I could get around there. Now we've proven it. Look where we are now. Da, 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 da. Back in the square set section. Been here before. Look at them. Came through back over there. Very happy. We've got another big collapse zone going from there down to the bottom. And my theory is it probably comes out down by our car repair station on the 690. So we're still looking at almost 200 feet of collapse crush zone. But I think it's passable. So we'll try that in a later explorer to get some more experienced and expendable people out here. I mean, some more experienced people out here. And we will try to make it through some of this section down to the lower level. Or actually, probably be easier trying to come up because climbing this stuff's a lot easier than going down it, believe it or not. Lots of dynamite boxes here. Another one of our dynamite box graveyards. Unfortunately, most of them are cardboard, but not all of them. Okay, yeah, let's start working our way towards the door because now we have to, our route march has changed and we've got to go out a different way. Look at all that stuff. So much. There's also a real good Galena seam back up in there, but we'll not mess with that today. And of course the gratuitous square shot sections for people who never get enough square set in their lives. That would be me. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. We're back in the square set again. I love this section. So hard. All right, I'm already back down another 200 feet back onto the main 690 level. They're still working their way down, coming down a hand rope and a slidey scree pile and a slusher stope, which eventually we want to get another staircase in there to make it easier for people. But until then, we do it the old-fashioned way, in the dirt on a hand line. Now, if you want to help make this happen, again, donations are always appreciated out here. Tecopa Mines at Venmo, Tecopa Mines at PayPal. And if you really want to help, join my Patreon page that has very few people on it, but it is a help. Go to patreon.com and look up Tecopa Mines and, throw me $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever. I'll try to give you some individual unique content. Plus, it helps support the work we're doing here. We got some ladder behind us here, which we're going to be putting up this stope eventually. And everything we're going to do is to make this place more accessible for more people so that the public can come out and see what the miners of old, did in the old days and share the magic, because this place has definitely got magic to it. I love this mine. This is my home. I want to share it with people even after I'm gone. So help me help the mines, throw me a bone. Or just tell people about the videos. I appreciate that too. Anything helps. And I'll watch Pat come down here, and I'm going to give her my full time and attention because this is usually funny to me. Anyway, thanks for joining us today. This has been a fun explorer coming through here, and we opened up some new sections, and I wish y'all were here. Well, if y'all were here, we wouldn't have enough room to move through back up there. But you get the idea.